we are back at Portland International Raceway for the swap meet. Welcome back to the Plays with Cars YouTube channel. My name is Michael, and this is our coverage of the Portland Auto Swap Meet in 2023. So we did come last year for the first one since the pandemic. It was pretty good, a lot smaller than usual, but it was nice to have it back. Now it's 2023. It's their second year having it since all the restrictions, lockdowns, and stuff. We're excited. It looks pretty busy. It looks like kind of the before times, and yeah. So we're gonna check out here at the track first at PIR, walk around the whole track, see everything outside while it's still not raining, knock on wood, and then we're gonna head over to the Expo Center for the other half of it. Come on. It's always a good sign when the first thing you see when you walk in is a car just like your actual one.
Good looking car.
And we've made it to the Expo Center. So we walked the whole track, saw everything there, saw one 944 race car, that was cool, some other fun stuff, and now we're here at the Expo Center checking out the swap meet on that side. You have to remember they are two separate events, you gotta get two different entries to get in, but it's still a lot of fun. They have free shuttle bus service between them, so I'm gonna go check things out.
I agree with you, man. I don't like.
I do have to admit, it's very, very empty outside at the Expo Center. There were years where every single one of these stalls was full all the way across, and I don't know if everybody just wanted to be inside this year or what was going on, but yeah, little disappointing in the parking lot. Hopefully inside's better. And that's where I stopped filming. So, anyways, clearly I'm not at the swap meet anymore. Swap meet isn't going on anymore. This is now 2 days later that I'm filming this. Started all that filming on Saturday while both swap meets were in full swing. It is now Monday, and I've actually been wrestling with this the whole time. I wasn't even sure I was going to make a video. I was just going to delete everything and just pretend that I didn't go. But that's a disservice. That's a disservice to my friends that I've recommended to go, some of whom went for the first time this year. It's a disservice to the people here that watch on the channel that were excited to see this field trip. Frankly, it's a disservice to the actual swap meet because the various promoters have actually used my videos in the past to spread the word about the swap meet and get people excited for the new year. They would use the one from last year. So I feel like an obligation to make this. The reason why it's a struggle, though, is it's not going to be a positive video, and I only like doing positive videos. Even if I have something negative to say, I try to keep it very factual, and I try to make it a shit sandwich, if you will. You say something good, you say something bad, you say something good again. And so I've really been trying to come up with a way to frame this, and it's just been really hard. And it's hard because I figured out I have a lot of personal connection with this particular event. I went to my first one in either 06 or 07, and I've been to darn near everyone since. I might have missed one, but I don't think so. So I'm a huge proponent of the swap meet. I've bought seats, wheels, tires, engine parts, camshafts, valve covers, carburetors, intake manifolds, grills, so many toys, slot cars, and die casts and models. Brought my kids there. It was one of the first things I did with my kids as they started to get a little older. Was bring them to the swap meet for a day with Dad, and it was this so much fun thing. And you throw them in the in the wagon, and you tow them around, and they get to dig through the Hot Wheel bins and stuff while you're looking at car parts. And so I think that's what's made it so difficult, is that it's got this personal connection for me that I've been going darn near 20 years, and my kids have grown up there, and it's been this super fun thing. This year was the smallest swap meet by a very, very large amount. I'd say that the number of vendors, not attendees, vendors, the number of vendors at the Expo Center was easily less than half of the next smallest I've ever seen in 20 years. Um, so that was really, it was jarring. It was unexpected. And it was unexpected because we went to the racetrack first. Now, keep in mind, the Portland Auto Swap Meet is actually two completely separate events. PIR, Portland International Raceway, puts on their own. Um, I believe they are Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then they typically Sunday is the clear out day for everybody. Um, and then the Expo Center does Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and is put on by some local car clubs. Um, so even though they're completely separate events, they always hold them on the same weekend. They provide the shuttles that go in between them, the whole 9 yards. But you have to pay two separate entry fees, just like we talked about in the video. It's two completely separate clubs. It's two different vibes. The stuff at the Expo Center tends to be more lots of pre-war stuff still to this day. Lots of 50s stuff, lots of 60s stuff, lots of call it rusty metal, but body parts and bits like that. And then lots of vendors in the hall that are kind of auto adjacent. So lots of tools, lifts, welding supplies, stuff like that. But you also get tchotchkes. There's a lot of like kind of garage sale things in there, and jewelers and shirt people. It's a little bit of a mix. It's fine. The racetrack tends to be kind of more hardcore. Like out there, there's lots of cars for sale. There's lots of projects for sale. There's lots of engines. Um, you get more race car stuff at the track. Um, and yeah, it's just a completely different vibe. Um, the racetrack this year was a normal year. Um, yes, there were empty spots, but there's always empty spots. I've never seen it completely at 100% capacity, and this is not the lightest I've seen it at all. In fact, if anything, I think this year, I think 2023, there might have been more vendors at the track than 22, which was the first swap meet since COVID. They didn't have the swap meet in 20 or 21. And so when I went last year, it was pretty big. Like there was a lot of pent up demand. There was a lot of pent up, people just wanting to go and do it. And so it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I think the racetrack this year might have even been bigger than last year by a small amount. But still, the uh, so the first half of our day, the first half of our experience was great. Actually, saw a lot of clips the from the track. Met some great people, had some great conversations, found some cool stuff. Really considered buying at least one car. Um, so my expectations going into the Expo Center were like, man, this is great. It's we've weathered the COVID shutdowns and all that, and the swap meet's just gonna like be back to its full self, like second year in a row. Super awesome. Start filming, get there, and man, I have never seen empty spaces like that. And I'm not talking just the parking lot. I didn't even film in the halls because the main hall, the A hall, the very first one on the far left when you go to the Expo Center, which is always packed at the swap meet. Like there is never one empty stall there. It was half full, if that. Um, you could basically walk down the aisle and look left and right and see 3 aisles worth of stuff as you walked because there was so much space. Um, and then all the other halls were even less than that. In fact, I think the only hall that was even close to being over half capacity was the very last one where they put the cars for sale, the car corral. But even that was a shadow of its former self. So I don't know what happened. I do know that, again, having gone enough times, you always hear them announcing at the Expo Center that all the vendors have to sign up by a certain date and they don't take anybody late. And that date is really early. Like, it's like June. So you have to sign up by June of this year, of 23, if you want to be a vendor in 24. I don't know why they do that. That seems really disingenuous to me because then you have something like this happen. So I'm wondering if a lot of vendors that came last year didn't get such a good turnout from attendance because it was the first one, um, and then didn't sign back up for this year. And now the people came back because like, oh man, like I heard the swap meet was on point again last year, and then they come and all the vendors are gone. So I don't know the answer. I don't know what happened. I also wonder about the car club that hosts it. I know that it's an older car club. Let's to be kind about it, it's all like 30s and 40s stuff. Pre-war stuff is like the club that does it, and you do have to wonder like, what does that club membership look like? Are there still active participants? Are they able to keep doing the show? Are they bringing in any other clubs to help out? I don't know. I'm not in that club. I'm not part of that experience. I don't know any of those answers. What I do know is as a 20 plus, or around 20-year, um, going to the swap meet as a as a person, as somebody going to buy things, not as a vendor. This was the smallest ever at the Expo Center in that amount of time by a long shot. Like you could put two of these together and it still wouldn't equal the previous smaller one. So I'm really concerned about next year. I don't know that the Expo Center will necessarily be back, or if it is back, if it's going to be worth going to. Um, Track was awesome. I think the track next year will probably still be awesome. And I don't know, maybe you end up seeing that it all consolidates to the track. I don't know. But the field trip was a failure in that way. So this is not the video I was expecting to make. It's not the video I wanted to make. It's not the video I want to put out there. I don't like negativity. I don't like down talking things. And so I want to reiterate, this is just pure fact. Um, the Expo Center was a vast disappointment this year. Um, the number of vendors was so low. People that I've seen at every swap meet just not there. Um, you had Coker Tire and the big rig that had all the chrome stuff. Like those two were still there, and that was it. Like all of the other ones that are like there all the time, they weren't there. Um, yeah, so just really, really, really disappointing from the the Expo Center side. Now, does that mean I'm not going to go next year? Heck no. Of course I'm going to go next year. It could be three vendors, and I'll probably go. I just want to be very factual about it so that people's expectations for 2024 are at a certain level. Now, again, all that being said, two separate events. The track event was still completely on par. Had a great time at the track event. Lots of vendors, lots of stuff to see. Same quality of stuff, the same vibe, the same people. Definitely a good experience. So, if you're going to go to one, go to the PIR one, and I think you'll still have a great time. So that's been our field trip experience at the Portland Auto Swap Meet in 2023. Just bare unvarnished truth, and hopefully you found some value in that. And if your experience mirrors mine, or if you've been going longer than me and you know of one smaller than this year, I'd really like to hear about it and about when that was. But yeah, in my memory, like I said, it's '06. Um, Nothing even, like I said, if it was twice as big, it still would have been the smallest for me. Anyways, so this has been the Plays with Cars YouTube channel. Sorry about this video. If you want to see what it's supposed to look like, go look at our video from last year or before COVID when it was really Nutter Butters, and you could see what the proper swap meet was all about. So until next time, we'll see you.